Good. We are recording now. So this is Tourism Tim Warren, and this is Double Your Tourism Leads, Bookings, and Profits class. So this is bonus class 1. We're going to dig into some more advanced tourism social proof marketing, as well as do some digging into some websites and doing some deeper dives and offering some suggestions and insights. So good morning all to you. Let's start off with some good news. And actually, let's start with some good news, and I'll launch my PowerPoint, and I'm gonna need you guys to tell me you're seeing the right one. So who wants to start? Steffi, you're not unmuted, so you want to start with your good news for the since we last talked with you, which was 2 weeks ago?
Well, good news. I'm chugging along on the website overhaul. It's so much work, so little by little. I offer a variety seasonal tours, so there's about 12 different tours I gotta update and reformat and redo the text, so little by little.
There you go. What's it? Yeah. Yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. So, okay, bueno. All right, good job. Yes. Well, hey, that's the important thing is that you're taking little steps and you're putting this into action, and that is going to be rewarding to you, and it's rewarding to all of us because we get to learn from what you're doing, and more importantly, you're applying what you learn, and I know this is going to make a difference. Great. Who's next? Frankie.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Well, we hit our revenue goals for the season, yes. So that's really exciting for us. We got a little bit more in the summer to cap it over, and then any winter tour revenue for this fall will go toward that bonus. So that was really good to hit that.
Yeah, I'll say that's great because I know the season's short up there, but you still some time, and you guys are doing some winter trips, which is. So it's a bonus from here on, huh?
All gravy.
Nice. I love it. Awesome. Good work. Lori?
Well, I have been working on the website, but I also, happy to report that I applied for and got a scholarship to go to the ATIA convention in Juneau in October. So I'll get to, that will take some of the sting out of the travel, and I won't have to pay to get into the conference, so that'll be great.
Nice.
I was looking forward to it anyway, but this makes it even feel a little bit more like, a treat. So that's going to be really
nicely done.
That's awesome. Yeah, Ellie got it. My wife got it too, so I can't go, but she'll be there. So that was exciting. And then we both go to Arrival in Orlando at the end of October. So cool. You and Ellie should meet up.
Nice. Good. I love it. I love some connectivity. Sabrina, you've been a part of this group. So what good news do you have to celebrate?
Well, I just finished a course I was doing on accelerating your leadership superpowers for women, and it went really well. So that's my celebration.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's ironic. We're both working on courses at the same exact time, and Sabrina's specialization has been helping women advance their leadership and career for over 20 years. And my blind and deaf dog just came into the room. Hey, Bodhi. My good news is we just started the whale shark season on Monday. Last June we terminated most of our staff, including some longtime managers that were just static, and we're not cutting cutting the mustard, and they were not willing to step up to our vision of being truly a world-class eco lodge, and just sort of bringing some real bad habits. And so we bit the bullet. We terminated most of them, and we did it with their participation because they did their own self-assessments and ratings over a 6-month period, and you can see they were actually going backwards. The new crew that we got in place seems to be good. So that is awesome. It's a big step to total changeover of the crew. But man, I tell you, it feels good energetically to get rid of some of that just bad old bad habits and people who just get stuck and are not willing to evolve and grow. So on that note, I am going to start my PowerPoint, and you guys tell me if we're if you are seeing the right screen here. And I need to share my screen too. Just a second. Bear with me here. Let me get out of that. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, share screen. Got to do that first. Then I have to do this. Just a second. Okay, so you guys seen the W Tourism Lead Bookings bonus session number 1?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Love it when technology works. So we've already did this one. Today we've got some specific content we're going to cover, and I want to get into some deeper dive of what I consider a little more advanced tourism social proof marketing that some of you may or may not have done or may be considering, that I know work quite well. But I also wanted to make sure that if there's this, because this is our 5th session together, if there's any particular topics or questions that from previous material that we've covered that you would really like to make sure that we get a chance to cover today, if not today, and maybe at a future time. Any shout outs from the group here as far as, wow, I'd really like to have some feedback on this, or I am confused about that, or mostly on stuff we've covered, or something you would like to see covered.
Well, I personally need to figure out how to get more out of Google Analytics. So I think I have to take a little online course or something about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot there, but we can cover some more of the basics. I know early on in session 1, I put out just 3 key performance indicators I thought were key. I could share a few more that I think are most relevant for really understanding and tracking and using Google Analytics as a tool. Excellent. Anybody else? Thank you, Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kind of on that topic, this is Lori. You know, it's a really easy rabbit hole to go down when you're trying to make your site perform better and you're working on your keywords and you're working on your descriptions and you're trying to put in better photos and then for me, I find myself having trouble prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now I'm not in a position to hire help. Plus, I feel like another related question is, how do you know when it's going to be valuable to pay somebody to help you? Because my concern in this regard, having been in a consultant relationship and on both sides many times, is you can spend a lot of money really fast if you don't actually know what you want them to do. So it's, so for me, it's like, I kind of just do whatever's right in front of me a lot of the time. I don't have a well put together plan for how I'm attacking this pretty big task. So any guidance or pointers or anything in that world would be super helpful.
Yeah, I'm on that same boat, I can say.
Yeah.
So much to do is how do you prioritize?
Yeah. So that's exactly what I wrote down was prioritization, and we all have to keep in context. For most of us, we're in operational mode. Where does that fit in? So yeah, I get it. Yeah, we can if we have time today near the end, we can definitely talk about all of that and brainstorm a little bit on it, because I understand your challenges on that one, because there's an awful lot of choices. So let's move on here. What I wanted to do was to briefly go into the tourism Facebook group. I believe all of you have joined up. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go over there. There's some of my course members who have not yet joined, and they'll probably watch this recording, so I'm just going to quickly touch on a couple things there and share some things that maybe you guys haven't seen in there yet. And share kind of my vision of my hope of what this can be for us as a community and what kind of resource I think it really can be. So as you know, we just started this group this week, and not only will there be some course members from this course, but the original founding course of this, the Tourism Marketing Success course, I'm going to be inviting some of those previous members too, which is fun because they've been at this a long time. And I see that Jimmy Jack Draft with Jimmy Jack Fishing has already joined. And so that'll be fun to get some of their input on this process. But a couple things, can you guys see my the Facebook group right now?
Yep.
Cool. What I wanted to point out is I had promised a couple of bonuses to you guys that came out of the discussions, and one of them was the website sales conversion improvement. You can see over here recent group files. I have uploaded that here, and let me go down here a little bit, and there's two of them that I put in place. And I wrote a little bit about the website's conversion calculator, but you guys can download it right from here. It's the Excel spreadsheet. It has some baseline numbers in it, a number of web visitors, a bounce rate, and a conversion rate, but it's dynamically set up so that you can change that to configure and reflect where you're at or where you'd like to be, and do some using it for current version. Okay, thank you, Sabrina. And as well as doing some forecasting. So that is my gift to you. And if you guys see any ways to improve it or another metric we can consider adding, I'd love to hear from you all. And I'd love to see maybe some of you guys can share some of what's currently showing up. And then as we go in time, it would be really fun to see improvements in lowering the bounce rate and improving sales conversion, and kind of seeing how did that show up for you? Did you make an extra $500? Did you make an extra $10,000? And looking at it over a 2-month period, 6-month period, 1-year period, it gets pretty exciting when the bar starts moving in the right direction. So that was one resource. Has anybody looked at that one yet or downloaded it?
No, I haven't, just because it's a busy season. But thank you for putting all that up on and creating that Facebook page. I think it'll be very helpful.
Great.
Once I have a little time to really dig into it more.
Yeah, no worries. It's there, and I felt that this was a really good place to put it. Yeah. And then the other thing I put up there, and I made it a little bit better, was this document on how to engage happy guests and get more reviews. We reviewed this last session. You weren't here, Stephanie. I don't know if you've seen the replays yet.
Yes, I have actually. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yesterday,
I actually improved the document. I made it even more step by step, and I saw that there was a little shift in there, but it's essentially the same thing. And especially for really all three of you, because you're dealing with smaller size groups, you have the opportunity to engage your guests on that one-on-one basis, and you have more connection with them. So your odds of using this tool to radically improve your review conversions and get more reviews, which will help you ultimately with sales conversions, it really works well. So I'm very curious to see what you guys think of it, and more importantly, how do you utilize it? And if you have a crew, a guide crew, which many of us do, how well did they buy into this? How well did they implement it? And if you're even able to do some of the tracking that we did for 3 years, it's amongst the different tour guides and customer service reps, and see what their percentages were. It will really be actually very helpful for you to see how is this showing up in your business. But because what I know for a fact is the more of the internal surveys you can get filled out, the more reviews you're going to get, and the more you follow this script or something like it and personalize it and put it in your own words, but follow the pieces and the parts. I designed it for a very specific purpose, and it really works. So I look forward to giving you guys feedback and as you start to implement it. And then I put up some other things here. I put up some topics I thought were relevant to what we've been covering and what I think would be fun to get feedback on, including photos and videos that you're using for marketing. I posted a couple there. Stuff about travel website that sells when we implement stuff. Defining credibility statements, not only on your website, but how else are you using it in your email, direct mail, video, trade show exhibiting, on your business cards. How to get more reviews is relevant to the document we just talked about, and then the website conversion improvement. So if there's other topics that you guys want, I believe as course members, you guys can create them. But my vision and my hope for this group is I realize it's small now, and Sabrina's giving me a technical list here. Sabrina, I think if you just close the program entirely,
It won't shut you down.
no, it shouldn't shut me down. Just fine. Thank you. It turns, we're going to run a poll here in a second, and it turns out that when we're both signed on to the same account, it won't allow us to do the polls. So she's going to sign off. But my vision and hope for this group is, and I wanted to get a little feedback for you all, and what you would like to see is that it really becomes a resource, and we're dedicated to helping each other succeed. It's super, I know it's tough as a small business person to get feedback and honest feedback or questions about when you're putting up a new thing on your website, or you're not sure about this and you need someone, and especially someone who's studied this, because really a small fraction of our industry understands the psychology of that you're learning, and this concept of social proof tourism marketing. So getting feedback, that would be a big part of it, and that this is an ongoing community. It's going to grow. I'm going to have previous members from the old course, and then this course will be relaunching again next month, and we'll be bringing in new members, and so that's kind of my vision on this. And so it's this ongoing resource and community dedicated to helping you increase your conversions and your profits ultimately. So what do you guys think?
No, this is a fabulous resource. So thank you for coming up with the idea and implementing it and having all this information available for us.
Well, you're very welcome.
Gracias.
And the more that we participate, the more we'll all get value out of it.
Yeah.
Is there any topics or what's your sense that, I don't expect people to check in on this every day, but give me some feedback. Do you think that you might check in once a week and kind of get if there's something new, or make comments or sharing? Is that something that you all be willing to commit to at least a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably about once a week.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And as the community grows, it will be better. And I'm going to bring in some of the what I call superstars. Some of these tourism professionals who have really put this in play over the years, including like Doreen, and I'm glad to see that Jimmy Jack's part of the group already, and get them to reflect and share and give comments, because they've now applied this stuff for over 10 years, and to see how they're applying it, how it's evolved, what their next thoughts are, how are they deploying it, and how's it working, how are they fine-tuning it. To me, that's super valuable information. Just yesterday I got someone who listens to Travel Business Success podcast, who was commenting that she really enjoyed the interviews I had done with tour operators, and really talking about this journey, and this person's is going to start a new tour company, and she really appreciated that I shared the good, the bad, and the ugly, which you all understand that's just that's part of the adventure. So any questions or comments on that? Otherwise, I'm going to get back to the PowerPoint. All right, so that covers the Facebook thing. And again, if there's things that you would like to see represented, or topics, let me know. So I'm going to launch a poll here, and can you guys see that about warranties and guarantees? Anybody?
Yep.
Did you guys see the poll?
See?
Yep.
Cool. So I want your opinion on this. If you're making a purchase decision amongst two similar products or services, which one of these would you most likely do business with? I'm not getting, attendees are now viewing questions. I'm not getting any results. Have you guys voted?
I voted.
Okay. Well, apparently it's not working, which is unfortunate. So we'll do a verbal one on that. Let me share results. Let's see. Yeah, it's not showing it, but you guys could just tell me.
It's listed sharing poll results.
Are you most likely to go with the warranty, or does it not really matter to you?
Yeah, usually a warranty.
You have to speak up. I can hardly hear you.
Oh.
Yes, there's one warranty. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Warranty.
warranty.
Cool. All right, great. So I know I kind of knew the answer, but I really wanted to set the stage, because how we act and how we interact with how we do things and how we buy things and how we make decisions is not dissimilar to what our market does too. And so I want to dig into something that is not for everybody. But what I know is that when you know that your customer service is really good and your percentage of unhappy clients is very small, and I accept what I call the 3% rule, that no matter how brilliant of tours, awesome the experience, there's up to 3% of the people who walk in our doors who have got attitude, and there's not much we can do to change that. And so it's usually more about them than it is us. But occasionally we all drop the ball. It does happen. But the premise of the satisfaction guarantee, and we're going to dig into this. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you how it's been deployed, and I'm going to talk to you about some results that we've seen from this. But I'm going to assume that all of you have awesome customer service, and from that standpoint, a satisfaction guarantee can be extremely powerful to when someone is looking at multiple choices that are similar, or even if they're dissimilar. But if someone is offering some sort of satisfaction guarantee, warranty, this or that, and I'm going to explain what that means, and I'm going to be right up front. That does not mean that you're a money-back guarantee, although I'm going to show you an example of a money-back guarantee. What happens is, in those critical seconds and decision points, or it might be minutes, because people are bouncing back and forth between different tourism websites, and they're trying to figure out, oh my gosh, who do I go with, this guys or these gals? And what I can tell you is, statistically, the companies that have a satisfaction guarantee in place will absolutely get more high percentage of business. The odds are in their favor big time. So let's take a look at an example of this. And so what is, you guys, you've studied some of the concepts. Now, what do we call this thing? What is this stamp? What do we call this? Anybody?
I can't think of the word.
I know what happened to the audio. It kind of went down a level.
Can you hear me, Tim?
Yeah, barely. I'm not sure. Well, maybe, I wonder if Sabrina actually signed off or not.
Ellen, I can hear her fine.
Pardon me?
Yeah, I can hear Stephanie just fine.
Okay, great. Well, that's good. So did I hit the low credibility icon in this? Okay.
Oh, so there we go. Yeah, the credibility. That's what the word,
it's
right?
Credibility icon. This is something we created, and you'll notice on there it says 100% guarantee. It doesn't say what we're guaranteeing. Pardon me?
No, it's great. It's great to see, and yeah, you don't know that people don't know what they're guaranteeing. I would assume they might ask.
Absolutely, and I'm going to show you that, because we're not all fluff. We want to have substance to our promotion. But what I know is that besides copy and headlines, that when we can have a credibility icon and we can make the 100% guaranteed really big and bold and put it in a very conspicuous place, ideally above the fold, it's super powerful on getting people's attention and getting them going deeper into our site and really seriously considering us. So I want to show you what this looked like. This is just a draft mock-up that we did on this page, and we're going to read this together. An example of how this might show up is that we might have a little bit of copy on the home page. We may have this icon, and we make the credibility icon a hot link to a dedicated page. We have a dedicated page all about our Happy Camper Guarantee. That's what we called it, a Happy Camper Guarantee. And so and you can see that it says, oops, let's go back. I got to move my my menu bar. It's blocking. I can't really see what it says there. Okay, here we go. Helping you be a happy camper is our #1 priority. Big headline, big giant credibility icon. And so read this text with me. In the event that you are dissatisfied with something during your trip, or you are having any challenges with mechanical operations of your lost camper van, immediately notify our customer service staff via phone. Give us the details of the problem and a chance to solve it, correct it, or get you to a mechanic so we can address your issue. We will do our very best to find a resolution, and if we are unable to do so during a trip, we will work with you upon your return to arrive at a fair and equitable solution. Does it say anywhere in there that if you're unhappy, we're just going to give you your money back? No, it doesn't. The onus of these sort of guarantees that I advocate, and the ones that I've written up, is really about the guest must take responsibility. If there's an issue or problem, we want them to tell us immediately, because how can we possibly resolve it, fix it, correct it if they don't tell us? The worst possible scenario is to have someone upset, pissed off, and holds that grudge and then lets you have it at the end of the trip. No way. We want to know what's going on during the trip so that we have the opportunity to resolve this. Oops, let me back up. You'll notice here we've got a call to action button. Hey, reserve your next camper van. And then what do we have down below? Testimonial photo, testimonial and photo, testimonial and photo. Those could be videos. They could be headline quotes. It could be more credibility icons. It could be your credibility statement, defining credibility statement is another badge. It could be how you're featured in the media. This page should be totally reinforcing why you guys are awesome and that you are so confident about the level of your quality or service that you guys are standing behind a satisfaction guarantee. Is that making sense to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Where would you place this? In your home page or?
Absolutely. Would be a dedicated page on your website because if we just put up there 100% satisfaction guaranteed or however we label it, as you mentioned earlier, Stephanie, which is a really good point, is that they would want to know more about it. So we make it more available. In fact, I know that a satisfaction guarantee is so powerful to increase sales conversions. Once you make a page on it, and I would link it to your copy or the icon on your homepage, I would also make it a primary navigation link. I would have, if you're willing to stand behind your product and service with some sort of service guarantee, and that you guys are going to do whatever it takes to make the customer happy, then I would make a nav link to this dedicated page too, and I'll show you some examples of that. So let me show you a couple more examples here of this and how it's been deployed by other companies. The icon didn't come out very good here, but they used a happiness guarantee, 100% happiness guarantee. Again, we made this up. This is LJ Biz Tours. They're in Bangkok and Thailand, super competitive market. There's like 800 tour operators, and I'm not kidding. And they used to be number 87 or something in day tours in Bangkok. And we worked a lot on their TripAdvisor ranking. We moved them into about number 7. But this was monumental for them to put this in place, and as part of, because helping combine getting more quality traffic coming in from TripAdvisor, and then their conversion rate went up too, because of the things that you've learned and they applied, and they stepped into 100% guarantee. This is how it looked on their page: happiness guarantee, LJ Biz, best in Bangkok and beyond, a happiness guarantee program. Certified guides and helpful staff. Your safety and enjoyment is our #1 commitment. Service, quality, safety, you guys know it. A CSS guarantee. I'm not exactly sure what that is, and the English is their second language. Okay, we're getting something here. Invite, record. Something was just flashing on my screen, so I'm not sure. I want to make sure everyone's here. Oh, Chantel's in the room too. Hey, Chantel. Great. And Jessica and Greg. Good deal. I didn't know you guys are here. This is, I want to show you what it looked like for them. You can read, that again, they're just reiterating what their stand is on equipment, on service, on knowledge. Again, the call to action, and we put this in the emails too, in the confirmations. We reiterate this when we're starting the trip, is that if we're not meeting the best in Bangkok happiness guarantee, you let us know immediately and we'll make it right. What percentage of the people do you think who have put this in place have actually had to ever give back money? Any ideas?
I'm going to guess it's a pretty small number.
Yeah, exactly. It's extremely small, and for the people who are not guaranteeing that they're giving back money, they hardly ever. The interesting thing about Lost Campers was they actually already had, you might say, a happy customer guarantee. That was their policy, to always do whatever it took to make the customer happy, because I convinced them that the value of having a happy customer leaving was 10 times more important than the damage that an unhappy customer can do leaving and writing bad reviews. Because every one bad reviews, you need about 10 or 20 good ones to offset it. It happens, but so they were already doing it, and honestly, they had a little bit of a challenge stepping into this, because most people define or think about a guarantee as that therefore you're giving money back. That is not the case. What I found is that if you're guaranteeing this quality of your service, the quality of your lodging, the quality of your cleanliness, the professionalism of your guides, you're guaranteeing the experience that you're selling. And since most of us do that great, this is not so much a tool to change how you're already operating. This is a strategy to get a higher percentage of people who are on your website, who are given the choice between a guarantee and no guarantee, 2 different operations, similar offerings of products or services, to click on you. This is where the value of this comes in, because a guarantee versus no guarantee is unbelievably powerful to get them to choose you. Now, I mentioned earlier that hardly anybody does a money-back guarantee, but I want to show you a client, an associate, who's so committed to the quality of their service. They're so dedicated to this, and the trips are really high-end. Austin's Adventures. This is I did a search in Google for Austin's Adventures and money-back guarantee. But actually, I just did Austin's Adventures, and I want you to notice here. Notice the descriptive text here. This is their meta description. This is actually an ad. This is an ad, but it also shows up in their organic search too. But in their ad, they know this is so important to help conversions, because they're in that high-end multi-sport soft eco-adventure global niche, of which there's a lot of high-end players. They're an award-winning, family-owned, decades of experience, impeccable service. And look at this, money back guaranteed. Now they're paying for these ads. And these are, in that space, these are multiple dollars per click sort of ads. Why would they have that there? Because Dan Austin and his team knows that they need to be outstanding and that in really any tour, but especially when you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars, that people wanted some sense, some comfort that this company is so awesome that they're going to stand behind their product with a money back guarantee. And Dan told me they've never had to give money back ever. And they've been doing it for years. Here's what their page looks like, just the top of it. I'll send you guys, actually in the Facebook group, I will put the URL for Austin's Adventures URL of their money back guarantee right on their page. These guys are one of the few companies that I've ever seen specifically say money back guarantee. I don't think you have to go quite that far. I think it's almost as powerful by doing a satisfaction guarantee or a happiness guarantee or happy camper guarantee or a happy rafter guarantee. However play with it, make it your own. Happy biker guarantee. Play with it and create a page around it. Create a credibility icon to back it up, because not only can you put that on your website, could you put that on your email signature line? Could you put it in advertising? Could you put it on your trade show banner? Could you put it in a direct mail piece? That sort of thing, 100% guaranteed, however you represent it, makes a huge difference. In fact, there's the URL of the Austin's Adventures guarantee. I will put this up in the Facebook group, but this is the short version of what it is. And it's really all about customer service. Exceeding our expectations is our #1 priority. In the unlikely event that you were dissatisfied with something during the trip, immediately notify your guide. Notice the similarities. If he or she is unable to resolve the issue, call our main office and give us the detailed the problem and a chance to correct it. That's level 2. Again, the guest has the responsibility to check in now with a higher level authority. And believe me, these guys are going to bend over backwards to make these clients happy. And they have some type A clients that probably can be tough to make happy. But they've been at this for a lot of years, decades, and they're doing a great job. And so, again, if you weren't able to do it during the trip, we will work with you upon your return home to arrive at a fair and equitable solution, including up to a full refund. They've never had to do a refund. Have they had to make some adjustments? Have they had to give some credits? Have they had to give discounts on future trips occasionally? Yeah. Do we all screw up occasionally? Yeah, it happens. We're dealing with human beings and equipment and Mother Nature, fires. These kind of things happen. But again, this is a tool. This is an advanced tourism social proof marketing tactic that works. And this is a way for you to be outstanding amongst the many, many choices that consumer have. Let's look at one of our fellow classmates who put this in place very recently. I don't know. Let me see. Is she here? No, she's not here yet. She told me she was doing some interviews for some new staff. She wants to upgrade her team. But let's look at Key Culinary Tours. Let's look at Maggie's, what she did. And I did a search for Key Culinary Tours. This was really interesting, just a couple of days ago. And you can see I thought this was fun. Right up at the top, and this is the meta description. This is not a paid ad for Key Culinary Tours. Our 5-star guarantee. They lead off with that as part of their credibility, part of what sets them apart. Down here, they can see and actually then I did a search. Their guarantee page is indexed in Google and showing up. There it is. Culinary Tours, the subpage 5-star guarantee. Key Culinary Tours believes in the promise of 100% satisfaction at our Sarasota food tours. Check out this page to learn more about a 5-star guarantee. And these were stacked one on top of each other. So given many food tours, and people are scanning it and making decisions in seconds, do you think that they might be more willing to click on a search engine result that has some sort of warranty or guarantee? Absolutely. This is huge. So this is a snapshot of what it looks like, and we're going to go look at our website. It's really simple. I want to go look at it in more detail, but let me see here. let's back up and I'm going to stop sharing this, and we're going to actually go look at Key Culinary Tours webpage and look at it together and look at how did they implement. So here we are. This is Maggie's new website that you guys saw the previous version on, and this is the new one they just launched. Because you can tell it's got the white header up here since 2015. This Define Incredibly Straight right up front. But so now we're going to scroll down a little bit, and so they're going to lead off with their most popular tours, which is standard. That's not a bad thing. But look at this. We have not gone down about maybe a third to the half of the page. They've got some more tours here. What's this? Look at this. Big giant graphic, 5-star, our 5-star guarantee. Here it is, 100% satisfaction, incredible food tasting, the big meal, public tour groups of 10 or less, certified local guides, optional safety net protection on every tour. I think it's kind of a cancellation insurance, licensed and insured. And there's some more text here, and then click here to read about our 5-star guarantee. This up here, 100% satisfaction, is it also a link. I had suggested to her that she should also make this graphic a link to that page, because some people are very visually oriented, and I think big graphics as hot link buttons can be very powerful. But let's go take a look at her page and see for ourselves. That's the question that you asked too, Stephanie. What is your 5-star guarantee? Again, notice this. If at any point during your tour you have any concerns or challenges, tell your guide immediately. Again, we're putting the responsibility on our guest, because we are not mind readers. And we need to know that there's something that we can improve. There's a problem. There's something that's a bit off. We want to know. And we're going to do our very best to make it right. How different is that from what you're already doing, really? If you're committed hospitality and tourism professional, aren't you going to bend over backwards to make people happy within reason? Except, of course, the up to 3% that might be a pain in the butt, that you may not be able to make fully happy, but you're going to try anyway, right? We talked about the 3% rule. I'm not going to go read the text here, but I will put her page up in the Facebook group so you guys can go for yourself. This is a great model. I sent her some copy. I sent her some examples previous about 4 weeks ago, because we had talked about this. Feel free to copy this and morph it into your own version. I think, because it's reinforcing the very features and benefits and the things that make us stand apart that a consumer is looking for. The certified local guides. This cancellation insurance, this optional safety net program, which I thought was kind of ingenious. Licensed and insured, and there's some really nice stuff here. What I think this page is lacking, and so let's just do some suggestions right now. Who has some suggestions on this page? So you're looking at it right now. This is the entire thing, and you're going to have to speak up. For some reason, I'm having a hard time hearing you, and I don't know why. Any suggestions? Any observations of what you would add to this page to give it more impact, to give it more depth, to give it more credibility, to give it more believability?
Maybe you mentioned putting some testimonials in there, things like that. It's really text heavy. I mean, it's great information and everything, but some pictures, or break it up with maybe some testimonials or pictures of happy people, kind of a thing.
Excellent. Great feedback.
I also think the size of the header plus the space underneath with the 5 stars is putting the content almost below the fold.
Good point. So yeah, this is pretty big.
Yeah, so get the text higher so you're starting, and then maybe you can make it even, maybe this is my age talking, but there's just a lot of sites where the text is just really small. And it's like, if you're going to have text, make it easy to read, especially the stuff you really want to pop out. There's a lot here. There's a big contrast between the size of the header and the size of the text.
Yeah, I love it. I totally agree with you. That was Lori, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a really good point. And I happen to know that Maggie and Key Culinary Tours clientele is mostly, 55, 60 and up. So and then imagine and what this looks like on a cell phone. So that's a super good point. So move the text up higher. Could this what our 5-star guarantee, could that be floating down here on the side and become actually part of a graphic to break up this text and move it all the way up to the top of the page? Could they say this in fewer words? Probably. Because really the meat of it's in the bold. If it just had the bold and a teeny short sentence afterwards to give it some context, would you need more? Probably not. So testimonials, change the formatting of the page, make the font bigger, move the satisfaction guarantee up, add some testimonials. Yeah, those are all great suggestions. Anything else? Those are all outstanding. I mean, you could keep adding to it, and what I would recommend to you guys is I think video testimonials rock more than anything. Not all of us have them, or we're building them. When you get a really good testimonial and you got a placeholder for it, swap it. Look for opportunities to add more credibility. In fact, could you in fact have a testimonial that said, "Wow, there's 4 food tour companies in Sarasota, and I just didn't know which one to do. But when I saw that their 5-star guarantee, boy, am I glad I chose them, because that they were 5-star service, and wow, what a difference it made." What if you had a testimonial like that actually spoke to the conversation that consumer is having in their brain pre-purchase? They're right at the checkout, and they're just and could you have a 5-star? And here's an advanced tourism social proof marketing technique. What if you had your whatever guarantee credibility icon you came up with, whatever it looked like, and you had it in a really cool professional looking icon, and you had it in your checkout process. You had it like at the footer. It's on every page. A lot of our checkouts, we actually have the opportunity to put some graphics in there, whether it's the footer, the sidebar. What if you had that right there at that critical time where people are making that decision, and we're universally, shopping cart abandonment is a terrible at a really high rate, and it's across the board. If we could pick up an extra 1, 2, 5% of those bookings because that we created a comfort level that, wow, I'm making a good choice, and they're backing it up with some sort of guarantee, what do you think that could do? So think about this. This is a really deep level. It's a simple concept, but how you apply it and where you apply it and the depth at which you apply it, this is a secret weapon that will absolutely help you stand out from the crowd. And few of your competitors are doing it, but I bet when you start doing, some others will step in and start doing it. So I'd suggest you get a jump on it and do it first. And there's going to be many who are not willing to do it. They're too scared because they just interpret it as, oh, I have to get money back. But that is not the case. So let's move on here and look at some more stuff having to do with warranties and more advanced tourism marketing things. All right, so let me see here. Let's see if we can. Well, I'm gonna launch a poll here because I've got another one here that I want to do. Let me get this queued up. Let me launch. Where is the poll? Okay, here we go. Stop sharing. Oh, were you guys seeing my poll the whole time, or were you seeing my the website?
No, I got the poll pop up and I got the results.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Well, it's funny. I never got the poll results. So we're gonna do launch another poll here. Take a look at this one. Question is, do you have an alumni referral program or incentives? And this is one you can do a multiple choice on. If yes, no, work in one, want one. It's supposed to say want one, misspelling. Can you guys see that? Anybody? Are you seeing the poll?
Dawn voted.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not seeing the results. But has everyone voted on this?
Yes.
Cool, because maybe I'll get to see it in the record. So I'm going to end the poll, and I'm going to share the results. And you guys tell me what percentage is yes?
None.
None? How about no? What percentage?
67.
And working on one?
17.
Okay. And want one?
33.
Okay, cool. Then you guys are in the right place. So we're gonna take a look at this, and I'm going to let's close that down, and let's look at some alumni referral programs. What does that look like? How have we integrated it? What sort of percentages have we used? And I'd be curious to get some feedback from you guys. So, who's some of our best salespeople? Isn't it happy clients? Isn't it people who've just had some sort of life transforming experience with us? Aren't they going back from their trip and raving about that great rafting trip they did, or the cool climbing they did of the cliff, or the awesome cabins that they stayed in at your place, Greg? They rode a mountain bike in the snow and they didn't think that was ever possible, or they hiked in Alaska, or on and on and on, drank wine in some obscure place in Italy. And so, all of us are doing just awesome tours. And we know that one of the things people like to do when they get back from a trip is brag about their trip. They like to tell all their friends and family, that's what I just got to do. So what we want to do is we want to capture that energy, and we want to incentivize people to do two things. One, to come back, and then we're going to talk about a referral program as well. What we do in Baja is we have and once you become an alumni, you get a 10% repeat guest discount for life. Our trips start at $2,950. So it's not a small savings. And since we do a lot of couples and families, it's certainly possible that someone could just on their alumni discount alone save $1,000 if they're coming back. And so and we have multiple trips. So we have our whale shark trips that just started this week. We have our Best of Baja whale watching that's February and March and April. Or they could just come and stay at the lodge. So it's interchangeable. I'm going to talk a little bit about the program, and then I'm going to get a little feedback from you guys. In addition, we have a referral program because, again, who are these happy guests talking to? They're talking to friends and family. And what are those friends and family doing? They're going, darn it, man, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that trip. Gosh, I would love that. And if that alumni is a happy camper, they love the trip, and we know that because we did our internal survey, right? We know how they felt. And they were able to suggest to their friends or family, this is an awesome trip. You really should do it, and you should, and let them know that I sent you, or like we do, because we're not a huge volume business in Baja, but it's easy to do, and every one of you guys should do this anyway. One of the first questions you should ask when they call or email is, "How did you hear us?" And if they said, "My friend Lori went on the trip with you, and it was awesome, and I had such a good time, and I've been dreaming about this for years." And if Lori ends up booking that trip, and Nancy referred her, we would log into Nancy's record. Oh, Lori went on that trip, and so what if this has happened? We've had people bring back groups, and they go, "Wow, I can take my 10% discount, and if I referred 10 people to you, that's a 50% discount. Are you telling me that I can come back and do this $3,000 trip and I can save 50%? And the answer for us is, and this may not be for you guys, but I've seen this deployed in other areas, if your margins are big enough, is absolutely. Because do we make as much money on that particular trip, on that referral? No, we may not make as much, or we may even just break even on that. But guess what? We just got 10 more people, or it could be 2 more people into our funnel who are going to go and have a great time and are going to go back out and sing the praises of our operation. So it's just exponentially growing. We're leveraging the goodwill of our happy customers, and we're giving them a thank you for being part of our family, and we call it a thank you referral gift. So the question is, how many people actually do this? A small percentage, but what if only 5% of your total clients? Think about that. I mean, especially for you, Greg, where we're doing a higher volume, or Frankie or Lori, where you're doing you're not doing onesies and twosies. These are over a season. You might have quite a few people, especially with you, Greg. What if 5% of you have, say, at 1,000 bookings, 1,000 customers, and you got 50 referrals from that? What's a referral? What's an average booking worth to you, Greg, every time someone makes a booking for you? Are you willing to share that, just on average?
We just ballpark. It's about $100.
$100. Okay, cool. And if they added on lodging, what might a lodging and activities package go for?
Yeah, kind of the 200, 250 range for lodging and activity for an average.
Yeah, so let's just say we got 5% of the total people referred just one person, and so that's 50 referrals, and you made $200 per referral on average. There's an extra $10,000, and that was can one get a higher referral rate than that? Yeah, and especially it's exciting when you get people, you get these super advocates who love you, and especially if you're doing corporate groups or you're doing church groups, or someone who went on the trip has an affinity to a company, a church, a club, and can go back and be your advocate and can say, wow, this was such an awesome trip. You guys got to come back. And I'll organize the trip, and we are essentially rewarding that super advocate and giving them some incentives. Can they keep it for themselves? Yeah. Can they share it amongst their people they brought back? Absolutely. In this model, do they have to accompany the referral source? Absolutely not. Is there a limit as to when it expires? For us and what I advocate? No. Because are some of our trips bucket list oriented, and people might be thinking about them for a year, 2, 3, or more? Absolutely. So I suggest that we do not put any limits on this, but you have to find what your comfort zone is on your margins, on your occupancy rate in general, and think in terms of not so much how much you might make on a referral or a repeat guest. And it's going to be a little bit less, but that especially for every time you can get someone coming back and especially for alumni, they come back 2 or 3 times. How much of an advocate are they? How much would those people be willing? Imagine you having a video testimonial from someone who's been back 3 times, and they said, "Oh my God, I live in Denver. There's so many cool things to do in the Rockies, but I so love the Lawson Adventure Center and the cool things they do, and the excuse me, the things they keep adding. I go back every year, and I bring all my family, including my whole church." Those sort of testimonials that speak to repeat guests and speak to having such faith in you guys as a choice are really powerful. So can you see, I'm now combining a repeat guest program, a super advocate, and video marketing all in one, and rolling it together, and speaking to that they liked it so much, because some of our trips, someone would say, "I'd do it once and I'm not so sure to ever do it again." No, now we're speaking to, they loved it so much they go back every year. Having repeat guests who come back every year are awesome because it's just money in the bank, and usually they're bringing someone else with them. So any comments on this? Any concerns about putting something like this together? And again, I have no idea why my audio is really low. Actually, I think I just figured it out. Any comments on this?
I had to step away for a second, so I might have missed part of it, but I guess the logistics of getting the money back to the people would be my question. And if you've already addressed it, then I'll just listen to the recording and get it from that. But that would be what
thank
comes to mind.
you, Frankie, for bringing that up, because I didn't say how we're actuating this. I don't believe in giving cash back. This is a credit. This is a repeat guest discount for a future trip. So could one send checks? Absolutely. And would that be an administrative pain in the butt? Probably.
Yes.
But it would be very powerful. So I wouldn't be against it. But no, here's the magic of this. The repeat guest discount is a credit towards a future trip. So the only time that people actually save money is when they're giving you more money. It's even better, because what happens is that someone might say, "Oh, it was a great trip. I loved riding bikes with you guys, and I really enjoyed it." And so Sheila ends up referring 4 friends and aspires to come back someday, but life happens and they never come back. So that the referral 5% referral thing, it's also a credit. I'll fix this slide. All of these are credits to the alumni. So Sheila may have referred 4 people to you, and they've earned a 20% referral discount and their 10% alumni discount. But if they never come back, do you have to give them? Do you have to give them that discount? Not unless you send them a check. But if they're just doing it as a trip credit, there's no cost to you if they never come back. And here's the reality: is that as much as we love repeat guests, there's so many choices in the world that the repeat guest for most of us is a small percentage, but it's a nice one. So does that make sense? That these are incentives to get people being your salespeople, to be your advocates, to get your clients selling for you, and that if there's any monies discounts realized, it's only when they come back and give you more money because they're repeat guests. What do you think about that? And by the way, I figured out my volume thing, my new headset, which I just got for my birthday. I had my birthday a couple days ago, and Sabrina got me a new headset. It's got a volume control on it. And I guess I moved to really low. I couldn't hear you. I hear you great now. Really good question, Frankie. Anybody other concerns or questions on this?
For the referral one, how do you check that? How does that one work in terms of, okay, they're going to use it for the next time that they're here, but how do I have to look up the other person that they referred's thing to confirm it? So that's.
Well, everybody's got a different system, but the simpler the better. We have in our system, and for most of us, we have once a client is a client, they have a record of some sort, whether it's in an online shopping cart or in your database. And when someone actually is referred, and again, this is not just when they refer; this is when this referral actually goes on the trip and completes the trip, and so the money's in the bank. Then, or I would go and I'd put that referral's name in the record of the person who referred them. And so in that record, and let's say they gather 2 or 3 over a few years, great. When that person comes back and calls and you go into the record, you go, wow, you've earned 3 referral discounts. You're going to get an extra 15% off plus your alumni discount. Way to go. That's one way to do it. Any other questions or concerns about implementing something like this, either from an administrative standpoint or margin standpoint? I'd love some feedback from you guys on your thoughts on actually being able to implement something like this.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it's Stephanie. So the way I implemented it is in my thank you, please review us email. So I'm trying to incentivize folks to write a review and give them a 10% discount on their next trip, or passing it on to our referral when they book.
Mm-hmm. Is it conditional? In order for them to get that 10% discount, they have to give you a review?
Yes.
Oh, great. I think that's I like it. I think incentives work. I mean, and because it's a win-win for them and it's a win-win for you. So
Yeah.
how's that working?
No results yet, because I just implemented it about just a couple weeks ago, and I haven't had that many bookings to. I think it's only gone out to 2 customers, 2 parties.
Got it.
So no data yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, you're just starting, and we're going to talk a little bit about follow-up, about how to make this, to give it a little bit more depth. Anybody else doing something like this? Chantel, are you doing anything like this, or considering doing any sort of alumni or referral thank you program? I don't know if she's with us. Oh, there she is.
No,
Okay.
I haven't really thought about it because our trips are basically, we are just kind of our area. We're not doing like different styles of trips. So we offer 5, 7, and 9-day itinerary. So I haven't really thought about doing a referral program because we haven't created a different product that maybe people would want to come back again.
Mm-hmm. Might you in the future create another product?
Maybe in a few years.
Okay.
But not at this point.
Yeah, and especially your trips fall into the more the cool bucket list world. In the shopping decision point might be years in between trips, right? Or first time purchase.
That is true. But I'm not really sure what's the best way to track it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really doing a spreadsheet tracking thing. I was looking at links, or like if you had like the referral for me would be like if somebody referred somebody else, but it's not something that we've thought about. Like thought about it, but haven't actually planned to put it in place anytime soon.
Yeah, I think for leveraging the goodwill of our customers and getting them selling for us, getting a thank you referral program in place that's simple to track is the best. Because those are the ones that's happy clients selling for us, being your advocates are the ones that are going to generate the more business and repeats potentially and sooner, which we like. How about you, Greg? Have you guys thought about anything like this? I mean, do you have any sort of because you guys got cool products and cool programs, and you're close to a major urban center, and I could see how this could be an attractive program. Have you thought about anything like this? I don't know if Greg's in the room or not. I can't see the videos, but I think that I've seen this work for other rafting companies where they have some sort of incentive for frequent floaters program, and it can work. What I can tell you is that people their attention spans, as you guys know, is often about this big, and so it's important that you get your staff, your frontline staff, aware of this program, whatever program it is that you put in place, and to let people know that during the trip, and certainly at the end of the trip, especially when you're asking for that review, and especially if you incentivize it, tie it into your review program, that you do have this alumni program, you do have a thank you referral program, and let them know what it is, and give people some examples. For example, did you know that you could, if you refer 3 people, and you had to repeat that, you could save 25% off of your next trip, and that could save you X amount of dollars. To be able to monetize it and put it in some tangible numbers for people, I think it would be a good thing to add. Once you add this, to your outgoing connection with people, and then if you're doing a follow-up email, like like that's Stephanie's doing that reinforces this. I think that's really good. And if you're selling a high level product, what I have found, because we all know that we have a lot of happy guests, and we ask them for reviews, and they say, "Wow, Chantel, you guys rock. Of course, I give you a review," and they get home and life happens, and they don't get a review. So we want to change that or improve it, and so we don't always pull this off, but our intention is we call people. We wait a week or two, maybe even 3, and we call that primary guest, and we're holding in our hand their post-trip survey. We know how they rated us. We know exactly any comments they had or issues, or, and it's usually some sort of high-level experience. And we're reading this, and we'd say, "Hey, Jackie, it's so cool to connect with you. And I just wanted to follow up and thank you for being one of our guests. And, I was just looking through your post-trip survey, and I see you talked about when you and your grandson got close to that whale, and you kissed the whale, and, it's something you'll never forget. And wow, it's just so cool that, so you're connecting with them. And then and before you do this, you check to make your TripAdvisor reviews. So you check your reviews to make sure they haven't already given a review. Let's just assume they haven't. You would then go back and say, our business, like most, and this is a magic line, our business, like most, relies on happy customers and referrals and reviews. And so I know that you said that you had a great time, and your survey says that, and you said you'd be willing to do a review. Wow, it would really help me out. Remember the script? It would really help me out, or really help out Carlos, our new guy, manager, and he would be so thrilled to read in TripAdvisor the comment you wrote about him on this sheet. Wow. Could you just take a moment in the near future and do that review? Carlos would really love that, and I would really appreciate it too. And again, thank you. And then of course you mentioned, and remember, you've got this alumni discount for life and the referral, and so you're giving them a gift. And in fact, you might lead with that. Remind them of the referral discount, the repeat discount. It's a gift, and this falls into that reciprocity thing we talked about last week. When you give people a great time, and then you give them a gift of these future discounts, they feel obligated at some level. But in a good way. It's a reciprocity. They want to give back. So I think if you can find the time and do this and integrate this into your program, and you make some calls every week to follow up, and this won't work for everybody because some of us have got high volume, or you want to be selective on it. Maybe someone brought a group of 20 to you, and they're part of a corporation, you'd really like them to come back. Would they be worth a call? Absolutely. So again, we can do this at a low level. You can do it at a deeper level. It's really at what's practical on, and I get that, we got businesses to run, it can be challenging. So I just mentioned this is that, and then when you actually bring this back up, that they know that they said they would give a review to you, and you're just giving them a courtesy reminder in a fun sort of way. There's even a little bit of guilt falls into this. Again, this is psychology. I'm not trying to make this up. I'm not trying to abuse it. This is just how human beings work. And so, being a recovering Catholic myself, I know that guilt is part of it. It just happens. And so this is, when you ask it and you give them a courtesy reminder and you say, "Hey, can you please help us?" The odds of those reviews coming in go way up. So I'm just giving you guys some tips. And this is another little thing that we've tried that I think works out is we are the #1 TripAdvisor specialty lodging in northern Baja. It's called Baja California. But the southern Baja is called Baja Sur. But we aspire to be the #1 eco lodge in the entire peninsula. This is like 800 properties. And what we have found is, and we let people know, we have a thing on our wall at the lodge. We have our guides talk about it. We let them know that we aspire to be that, and they have an opportunity to be a part of that team. They have an opportunity to help make that happen. people want to be part of a winning team. They want to help have that make that happen. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this email. So before we go there, let me just back up. Any reservations about this, or anybody thinks that that this would work for them at some level? I realize this is a step. This is adding more to the plate. But if it bumps you another 5% or another 10% of reviews, of bookings, of conversions, would it be worth it? What if it was 15%? What if it was 20%? Anyway, we will be tracking this in the Facebook group, and I look forward to your questions, comments. I'd love to see your emails. I'd love to see how you guys implement some sort of satisfaction guarantee. What does it look like? What are the terms? What does your credibility, your icon look like? What does the web page look like? This is what the Facebook group's all about. And you all, and past members and future members of this course, you have a responsibility and an opportunity to pay it forward to your fellow tourism professionals and share your opinion. If you think it sucks, let us know. If you don't get it, let us know. And if it rocks, let us know. But you need to be willing to share, and you need to be willing to participate. And that's my aspirations. What I know we can do as a group. We're a small group now, but in time there'll be many dozens of people in there, and all of us aspiring to the same thing. And that's why I want to do this contest, because I know that at the end of the day, there's a lot of good ideas, a lot of good information that's happening in these calls, in the course, in the guide, the videos. It's all great stuff, but if you don't get off your fannies and actually implement it over time, incrementally, one piece at a time, it's not going to give you the value that I know that you guys, that's why you signed up for this course. I'm committed to you guys getting value. I'm committed to seeing you guys. Nothing makes me happier to hear that, like what Frankie shared, we already hit our revenue goals for the year. Way to go. I don't know if Greg or someone. Jared said they thought they're going to hit $1 million this year. Awesome! I'd love to hear that. So what I want to do is I want to incentivize this, and this is a fun thing. This is about you guys taking action and applying this in the way that worked for you at the level that works for you. And I want to give some accolades. Of one, being the winner, two, giving some free consulting for the winner, and to help you with whatever marketing you guys want. I'm certainly well versed and capable almost in anything in this industry to help take it to the next level. But again, look to the course, look to websites, look to the podcasts, look at discussions, comments that people made, the input, and look and don't be afraid to copy. You see an icon, you see a text, you see a headline you like, swipe away and put it in your website. You guys have got a month, essentially. You got 4 weeks, a little bit less, to put this in play. And between now and then, why don't you be sharing drafts in the Facebook page? This doesn't all have to happen. The judging will happen not just by me, but by you all. We'll put up a survey, and you guys will vote on and then we'll have a couple different categories, but on who's implementing it in the best that you can see. And you know what? Even no matter what level you put it in, and actually implement this stuff, you'll all be winners, because what we know for fact is doing this incrementally, keep adding these layers, and not just in your website, but in the script that you tell your guests, videos, audios, emails, print, and you keep implementing these layers, you will be winners too, because your conversions will go up. Your profits will go up. And again, I want to make this a peer thing, and this is not about who's right or wrong, who's better or worse, but we as a group of now trained professionals or in training, we're all in training. I'm as much a student of this industry as you guys are, because it never ends. There's always something to learn. And let's submit things to the Facebook group, and then we'll have some sort of voting that will take place between the 20th and 25th, so it is a little bit less than a month. And I will give a coaching with me a deep dive session that I would, to hire me for consulting costs $1,300 a month. So I'm just giving you guys some perspective. And so I'm going to provide not a month worth of coaching, but I'm going to provide a nice chunk. So I mean, far more than most of you guys paid for this course. But again, just implementing it, we're all winners. What do you guys think of this contest? Are you guys game? Do you want to jump in and take this even deeper? Say yes.
I love the challenge. I gotta sit down and get at it.
There you go.
Thanks for the push. That's being a single woman operation. Any encouragement I can get, incentives, works. Thank you, Tim.
Great. You are welcome. Yeah, this is incentives, and this is the team approach. You can submit drafts all along through the Facebook page, and you guys can offer questions and insights. But of course, in order for this to be even more valuable for everyone, we need to participate, whether you're just giving feedback or you're applying it or both. I hope that you guys will step into this. I know that when Sabrina and I first launched our podcast, I Have Travel Business Success. Sabrina has Women's Leadership Success. We were part of a course that we went through, and there was about 100 people in it. And they put out a challenge, a contest much like this. And boy, it lit some fire under our butts to actually, because there was a lot to it. A lot of it we didn't understand. Sabrina was the first runner-up for her Women's Leadership Success as far as the content, the concept, the artwork, the podcast cover. We just published show 100. So it's coming along, and she gets business from it. I get business from my podcast. So anyway, back to the contest, it works. So I wanted to put that out there. And again, there's, as you guys know, there's a lot of different layers here, a lot of different levels. So we're going to be looking at what level or levels you've applied. So we're going to do some Q&A, and we have a little bit of time left here, just a little bit. And I know that some concepts came up about prioritization earlier, and how to know what you should be working on next, or what I always think in terms of the question I ask is, what's going to give us the biggest bang for the buck, the fastest and the easiest? So easy, fast, high return. Or another analogy is, what small hinge swings the biggest door? And that biggest door could be a revenue, it could be an occupancy, it could be a staffing issue because you may have a recurring staffing problems. It may be, it's whatever we make it. Let me, before I jump into that discussion, does anybody else have any questions or answers about what we covered today, or what we've covered in previous sessions, or something else you want to talk about? Take 5 minutes on this.
I was curious about, so we have you have your guarantee, which is great, and we've been talking about it, and we just need to make it official and put it in print. But kind of the thought process behind cancellation policies, and TripAdvisor pushes pretty big the 24-hour, which is great, and for travelers and everything. But I wonder if having, like, ours is 2 weeks for a full refund, a week for 50%, less than a week, nothing. With exceptions, we're human. And I wonder if maybe there's a reticence to book there because of the cancellation policy. So I was curious about kind of how that would play into conversions and your thoughts there.
That's a great question. Does everyone in this call have some sort of cancellation policy in place? Raise your hand. Yeah. I've not seen, unless you're in a walk-up attraction where it's just, it's your San Francisco Wharf and you're doing something that takes 2 hours, and you just book in there. Almost everybody has a cancellation policy. Even those guys have got a cancellation policy. So do I think it negatively influences someone's choosing to book or not? No, because I think it's industry standard. But can one get too aggressive with it? Yeah. The rule of thumb that I have seen, and I'd be curious to get you guys' feedback, is the higher the price point of the transaction, the further out we do the cancellation. And I like the tiered approach that you mentioned, Frankie. We use, in Baja, we're using, the moment you sign up, whether it's even 2 years out, there's still going to be I think it's a 15% holdback fee or credit towards a future trip. But we're at 120, 90, and 60 days. It's at 60 days out, you cancel. Sorry, you lose everything. So what about you, Lori? What are you guys doing?
Well, I went ahead and, TripAdvisor unfortunately does not give you a lot of options as far as you can't have a lot of nuance in your cancellation policy with them. So TripAdvisor, all sales are final. But the fact is the communication we give to guests is that, if they go look at our website, we generally apply our standard cancellation policy, which is, up to 14 days in advance, 90%, inside 14 days, nothing. Mm-hmm. But like we talked about at the beginning of this call, I've refunded plenty of people this summer because of the fires or, canceled flights or whatever else. Usually I still only refund them 90% just because I feel like that 10% just covers my general administrative pain.
Yeah.
I thought, and I haven't really, and I benchmarked what other people, up here do, and it's pretty standard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the benchmarking is a really look at what your local market's doing, compare, and look at your competitors and see what they're up to. But I wouldn't be afraid to do that. In fact, as your credibility and brand grows, you can actually be more, aggressive is not the right word, but you can actually add more time. Because
I also tell people to get trip insurance.
Exactly. In fact, you know what? We did something in Baja that at the time seemed really scary and really a bold move. But we realized, you know what? We're not in the insurance business. We have mechanical issues with planes every once in a while, and every once in a while a hurricane blows through, and we cannot change that. And we're not in the insurance business, and we cancel a trip. We're talking 10, 20 grand. Boom. And so what we did is we made it mandatory. To go on our trip, you must purchase trip insurance or agree that you're self-insuring, and we have a separate document they must sign. And we were thinking, oh shit, this is going to hurt our conversion. People are going to go, oh no way, I'm not booking. Guess what? Hasn't hardly scratched it. We've done over 4 years now with this. So
I've totally been on trips with those kinds of rules. And
yeah.
You buy trip insurance when it's 5 figures.
Yeah, exactly. And, it costs you a few $100. And you know what? If you have to use it, you're so glad you did. How about you, Greg? What you guys got? What's your policy? We got it. There you go.
Right, trying to unmute there. So we recommend trip insurance right now. But for this 10 years ago now, but my international travel company was same thing. It was 5 to 6 figures plus, and we required it 10 years ago. But I actually had to, became an agent so I could provide it as an option. And it was well worth it because it covered everybody, these are difficult trips and you want to provide that out for people. So we recommend it now. Very small percentage take us up on it. But some wish they did.
Are you doing it through any sort of partner affiliate program on the company recommending?
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm finding affiliates recommend it. So, gosh, I forget which channels, but some channels actually offer or recommend, some of our lodging channels do. So like, for instance, HomeAway, VRBO, same entity. Mm-hmm. They require that you either put a deposit, and it's a large deposit, like $1,500 down, which few people want to do, or get trip insurance. And so they run that. They're the agency for that trip insurance. So it's, I have, in my career, I've had a little pushback against that.
Nice. That's great feedback. So, Frankie, I would, do you feel as if you're wanting to evolve your cancellation policy? Do you feel like it's not giving you enough protection? Because it really, you need to protect yourself because stuff happens or people will try to weasel out of something if they can.
Well, most of our tours are like $200 or less. And so, people don't want to get trip insurance for something so cheap like that. Although I'm sure if their entire Alaska vacation would cost more than, is significant. So they should probably get it for all of it. I was just looking to think maybe if the conversion, like Lori said, TripAdvisor is either no cancellation at all or 24 hours before the trip goes. I've also seen, I don't know, we're just kind of talking about it, but I've also seen other people just have an add-on sale function that's not actually related to an actual trip insurance legit thing that just says, X amount, buy the insurance, cancel, no questions asked, no big deal. And then it's just, a lot of people buy it. It's an add-on fee that you get to collect the extra revenue. And then on the occasion that someone uses it, then.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Check into that, see what you find out. And I'm looking at Maggie's 5-star guarantee page, and they're actually using it as part of their pitch. You can add on a safety net to your reservation for just $5 in case you need to cancel for any reason. I think that's awesome, and their price point is not dissimilar to yours. $5. I would think that most people would. I'd be curious to see what percentage of it, but I like she's actually flipped it around and made it a benefit. She's made it another reason why you should have confidence in purchasing with us.
Yeah, and that makes sense. So we might want to look at it, but a lot of times we don't want to make it too close. Like TripAdvisor, 24 hours won't work because people go, oh, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I don't want to go biking, but they'll still have a great time. And we provide rain jackets and pants and all the things. I get plenty of calls a day of, it's raining, what do? We go biking. And they'll go, okay. And then they have a great time. So I don't want it to be a weather decision in terms of that. So I don't know. We were talking about making it 3 days or a week or less. I don't know. I don't know.
That would be a great testimonial for you to give, Frankie, from someone that said, oh, I was concerned about going with because the weather was crappy, but it was raining. But oh my God, they gave us rain jackets and warm food, and I've never had so much fun riding out in the cold rain, or whatever. But I was just thinking that would be a really cool little video to add to a page, especially right next to the thing around, it's what they're calling the safety net or the cancellation shirts, or for some of us making it mandatory. That I love what you said, Greg, about what you were doing previously, and that was mandatory for you guys 10 years ago. We were honestly, we were nervous when we put it in place, but we may have cost us one sale out of hundreds. That's
Thank you.
Good topic. Excellent. You guys want to chat just a couple more minutes about the priority thing, about prioritization?
I have a couple more minutes.
Okay, cool. We can do anything we want in life. We just can't do it all at the same time, damn it. And especially the question is, when do you bring in, you mentioned, Lori, when do you hire a consultant and when can't you? When's it not worth it? I would really look at your ability to execute first and foremost, or is this something that you need to delegate to one of your team members, or even hire an outside person to do it? Because all the knowledge in the world doesn't mean squat if we're not able to actually implement it. And so I would make a short list of the variety of things one could do, and then reorganize it based on what that biggest bang for the buck, the fastest and the easiest. And which one's going to generate the most revenue? And what I know is that what's universal for all of us is no matter. I mean, we could be fine-tuning our itinerary and adding new stops and upgrading our vans and doing the staff and all that stuff, which is great. But at the end of the day, if we're not marketing our brand and our company effectively, and we're not increasingly get a higher percentage of sales conversion, we are out of business. And that's why this is the topic that I choose primarily to teach on, because I know this is one of the most important hinges that swings the biggest door. Revenue empowers other options and upgrades. And so I would look at it from a revenue standpoint, and I would look at, on the concept of, on this topic, when we're talking, I'm going to give you an interesting caveat. I'm not a tech guru. I love technology, but I am not the HTML wizard. And I hire people when it gets too complex beyond my WordPress knowledge. And including, I've consulted and coached with clients or been through the course, they've been consulting clients who've said, wow, this is great. And then they go hire a web company to put it all in place for them. And, it may end up looking better, but this is the sad truth. And I saw one just yesterday, former client. We did some changes on their site. We put all these social proof marketing elements in there. It was really powerful. And then he hired some web designer to go in there and to upgrade it and make it mobile responsive and add all this stuff. And all the secret weapon stuff that he had put in there, it all fell away or it got buried at the bottom. It was like so the webmaster, who's technically brilliant and a good designer, doesn't know squat about selling and marketing. And they don't understand the power of this social proof tourism marketing. So you got to be real careful. So if you're going to hire someone, heck, these recordings are going to be available to you guys. The course book is available to you. Share it with them. Manage them. Don't let them integrate cool HTML and great design elements and disempower the social proof elements that will take your conversions to the next level. Make sure you get both. So I've seen that happen multiple times. And I think I even mentioned in the course book that the webmaster is not always your friend because they don't get this. So don't be afraid to share this with them and make sure you manage that. So that would be what I would say on that. Is there any particular options that you're looking at from let's look at fourth quarter. Sales are slowing down for you, Lori, come fourth quarter. There's not much you can do left in third quarter. What is it you're looking at in the fourth quarter that are decisions for you that you think might be nice to implement or not?
Well, I want to be sure I implement as much of the lessons from this set of workshops as possible, because I'm already getting bookings for next summer. Great. So, I really feel like the business this year probably was impacted negatively from the kind of dispersed attention on the marketing for this summer that it had last year because the business was being sold. Mm-hmm. And they were, plus the health thing and everything like that. And I feel like, especially the early summer bookings, I feel like, and even the winter bookings, I feel like there wasn't a lot of marketing done for our winter products or for our summer products for next year. So that's really, in addition to also, I'm hoping we're going to have this new product for this winter, but unfortunately the location is right in the middle of some of the fires that are going on right now. So don't know if that's going to come to be, but like you said, you have to make sure you're effectively selling what you got. And it's not like, and we both know, I think that there are real tangible things to be done now that I have a little bit more time to, like you say, work on the business, not in the business. Because I've been doing a lot of in the business all summer, and I got to hire some more people too. That's another thing I've got to do in the fourth quarter is looking to this winter and to next summer, find some new help.
Mm-hmm.
So,
nice. Yeah. For most of us, really, we're doing our marketing and our messaging has to precede by a fair amount of time the actual bookings and how they manifest. So yeah, it's getting strong on your fall and focused on marketing, in the fall, fourth quarter, to really plant seeds for 2020 is a very practical thing. Lori, do you mind if I share in this class what our relationship is, how we know each other? Great. I represented the 907 Tours, the sellers of this company. I had been a consultant to the company. They said we'd like to sell, so we worked on prepping the company and getting some stuff in place, including some marketing. It was over a period of time to improve the cash flow and to get the company operating better. And a joint venture partner, myself, represented the seller. And Lori was found us and was very excited about this opportunity and actually ended up buying the company. So Lori and I go back almost a year now, I guess. It's been a year, yeah. And so it's fun to see how things come full circle. And I'm so tickled that you're in this class and that now you get to re-engage the marketing, because the seller that we knew that there was a lot of upside opportunities that the previous owners had not been giving the marketing attention that it could have over the years.
Right.
And so, so it's fun to see that come full circle. And that is a part of what I do, is help people on exit planning and selling their company, and ultimately other people buy it too. So that's part of what we do.
This last week was the 1-year anniversary of me coming up here and doing ride-alongs with Susan.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Yeah. It's very good.
12 months.
Thanks for sharing that. Thank you. Any other comments about this concept of prioritization and how to best implement some of this stuff? Because I know you guys are all wearing tons of hats. I really get it. And especially Greg, you really got your hands full. You got multiple tours. You got lodging. You've got a new location. How many years have you been in business now? 3? Is this the second or third year?
It's the 4th year. This is our 4th summer. We broke ground in March of 2016. Launched our first activities in the summer of 2016, late in the year, our first few lodging units. Most everything was finished in 2017, and the remainder pretty much last year, with the exception of our bar this year. So yeah, Melanie is fond of saying we're doing fine until Greg wants to start another piece.
Yeah, the row that you've had to hoe is in some ways far more challenging than what Lori's had to do, because you started from scratch. And you not only you built the location, but you started a whole new brand. And so getting that ball rolling and getting momentum is more challenging in many ways. So, you know, I think Melanie's concern is a good one. I think we as operators, as creatives who want to provide these really cool tours, and I can get caught up in what I call product overdevelopment and diluting. I'd rather have 3 or 4 really solid projects and really products, whether it's lodging or tours, whatever, and really work on our occupancy and make sure those are really solid and get our occupancy up on those. And then how would I develop a new product? I would ask my customers. I would survey them, and they're going to give you the best answers, because sometimes what we think they want and what they tell us may not be the same. So anyway, no, my hat's off to you guys. I know, and again, also I want to, because we only have one more session together, I want to just thank you all, for Melanie and Greg and Jessica, for being a part of this call, because I know it's been particularly challenging for you guys, because you guys are running big volume and you've been really busy and you've made the effort to be here. So thank you.
Thank you.
I hope that you've gotten some nuggets out of this.
Well, we'll be able, with your recording and saving of everything, we'll be able to go back through it when we do have time. So
cool.
Great.
And on that note, I am breaking. My assistant is breaking each class that we did is actually being broken up into very specific sections. So you can be able to laser right in if you wanted to know, wow, what did they do on descriptive text that video will be a standalone. And so each day will be its own page, and it'll be broken up. I think some days are as many as 12 sections. Some of them are 8, 7, or 8. So all of that will be complete in the next 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And you guys will be the first to see that. And I really appreciate your feedback and opinions on it. The bonuses will be integrated in there. I really want to make it more of a robust, easier to consume course for you and future consumers. So any other comments or questions? As usual, we go over, but I so enjoy this, and I so appreciate you all. And you'll be hearing from me soon with essentially asking I'm going to apply the very things I've been teaching you. So I'm going to survey you. I'm going to ask you what you want more of, what you liked, what you didn't like. I'm going to ask you for testimonials, because you guys are my beta group, and I'm going to be looking for accolades as well as suggestions and testimonials. Let's kick ass on this contest. Let's get in there and do it. Don't worry about how little or how much you do or how perfect it is or not. Just do it. Submit your drafts to the Facebook group. I'll be in there regularly, and I will give you my feedback. This is your opportunity to get coaching, consulting from me on an ongoing basis, and normally what I charge a fair amount of money for. So take advantage of this, okay? Because I really want to make this special for you guys and create something that has legs for the future. Because as more and more people come into the course, and I get more and more people that they've gone through this before to come in and offer their insights too, I think this could be really fun. So on that note, if there's not anything else, we're going to have to talk about Google Analytics another time. And in the survey that I send you, think about what other topics you want. Product development. I'm already thinking about version 3.0 on this. Because there was a lot more I didn't get to, but again, I don't want. It comes in levels. So at a later time, I will do a deeper level on this topic and things around traffic generation and how to get more of our clients selling for us. How to be a better leader and manage your team, how to growth strategies, stuff like that. So, but I'm really interested in hearing from you all. So if there's not anything else, I'm going to say you all have a great Labor Day weekend and have a profitable and fun time. And I will see you online and Facebook. I will see you on we will have one more meeting scheduled, another bonus session where we're going to be just sharing your websites, and we'll fine tuning, basically helping you prep for the contest judging session. And that is on whatever date I sent you guys. What's it, the 20? You think it's right? I'm going camping. Let's see, on the 19th of September, I believe. So go for it. And you all have a good one. And we'll see you guys soon. Okay?
Gracias, Tim.
De nada. Hasta luego.
Adiós.
Adiós.